Hi, welcome to Dear Dilemma, where you send in your dilemmas and we answer them. Do you need an outside perspective?
Advice anonymously?
We're here to help. I'm Brooke.
And I'm Hannah.
And this is
Dear Dilemma.
Welcome back to Dear Dilemma. It's Thanksgiving week, so we wanted to chat about the dilemmas of having holiday stress with prepping for Thanksgiving, getting the house ready, Black Friday shopping, how to handle family members, how to handle the chaos, and enjoy time together. So we thought it was appropriate for this week, Turkey Week, as we like to call it, or I do.
Gobble, gobble.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
I wasn't saying that you had a double chin. I'm just trying to be in the Thanksgiving spirit.
Hannah's going to take it away.
The holidays often are so stressful, and it's just really hard because, like Brooke said, you have to get the house ready. You have to figure out what day you're going to do it on.
What are people bringing?
Yes.
Who's
Do you want to make the whole thing or just have people bring sides?
Oh, we do that every year.
Yeah, it's way easier to do it that way.
Yeah.
And whose house do you do it at? You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, that's always the fight.
Yeah.
So this is why I have a small house of dogs, because no one wants to go to a small house with dogs.
There you go.
It
gets you out.
Well, and it's hard too to be able to rent a place out. Like some people are able to rent like their churches out or like some local buildings, and it is hard. It would be easier so no one feels the stress of it, but I don't even know if like depending on where you're at, if your like local park has buildings, but it is a stress of, okay, I did it last year, I don't want to do it again. Who wants to do it? You know, like my aunt loves having it. She just needs help cleaning her house and getting it ready, which is totally fine. We'll come down the night before, sweep, get everything ready to go. It's big enough for parking, but then who's bringing what? You have to text everybody of, okay, like text me what you want. Make sure no one's double bringing anything.
Yes. Oh, and if you're married, like, whose house do you go to? Do you try to hit both? Do you just choose one? Do you do like one every other year? It's so hard, I think, to navigate that part too.
Yeah, like my cousin, they're from out of town, and they do every other year. So like, you know, this year they're spending Thanksgiving with his family because they're from out of town. They have to drive, and then Christmas they'll come here, and the next year they'll come here for Thanksgiving, and they stay at Christmas at home. Yeah, and I agree with that. I think that's fine. It's easier if you're in the same town where you can like, hey, we're gonna, and it also depends too. Like some people, like we always start at 12 or 1. Then there's people that don't start till like they do a dinner, so they don't start till 4 or 5. Those are nicer schedules if you're married. But if everyone has it at 12, then it's like, do we just show up for an hour? Then you don't, you know. So there's just so much stress.
There is, and it's also like, so I know you don't have children, but like for us, we think about nap time, and nap time falls in the middle of the day for our son. So it's like, if we're doing a lunch, he's skipping his nap, he's going to be cranky. Do we try to put him down at the house that we're at? Do we just completely skip it? Is he going to sleep in the car?
There's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, a lot going into for one day. And, you know, we're going to talk about how we kind of navigate that and dealing with family members. And
you also said Black Friday shopping. I've only done that a couple times, and now I just do it online.
Well, it's not like it used to be. I never like actually shopped. I just really enjoyed being out at like 3 a.m. getting Starbucks and going around because
I'm going to stand in line for hours.
Well, I never shopped. I just would get my Starbucks and go around and watch people be crazy because I thought it was entertaining. Unless it wasn't that busy and I got a good deal and the lines were short. But mainly it was just people watch because it was just fun being up. You're like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And I used to work Black Friday. I used to work at Aeropostale.
Did you?
I loved working Black Friday. I'd have to work from like 2 a.m. to 2 p.m. But it was the funnest time, like, because you're like, this is weird. Why are we at work at 2 o'clock in the morning? It was just so much fun.
You felt like you were like breaking the rules and staying out late or something.
It's dark outside. You're like, what's going on?
It's so busy.
We had like a ton of our workers there because you just never knew how crazy it would get. And I kind of miss those times. Like sometimes I just want to work retail in the holiday season just to do it, which I know I would probably regret it. But I think Aeropostale just holds a special place in my heart. We had a good boss. Funny. But yeah. So how do we handle all that? Hannah, what do you do? You have a family and a child. And
I think, for us it's hard because we do try to, make everything fair.
Yeah.
And then not only is it just my in-laws, so like my husband's family that we have to try to attend. Thankfully, his parents are still together.
Because then it's...
But my parents are divorced, so they're both remarried. So there's like 3 we have to choose from. Yeah. And we try to go to as many as we can, but it's a little bit too much. So sometimes we just decide like, okay, well this year we'll go to this one and this one.
Yeah.
And then the next year we'll go to this one and this one. So trying to rotate it out. Sometimes our families will do them on different days too. So
that's always nice too.
Kind of like go to the one that's closer in town and then go to the one that's further away on a different day. But again, it's still challenging because you're just trying to make sure that like all the parents and all the family members don't feel like you're choosing sides and that there's not any drama there.
I get that. We struggle with that because my fiance, we've only been to his Thanksgiving once, and that's just...
Is it farther away though?
No, it's in town. He just chooses not to go. We did go one year because it was at the same time where we had mine, and he's just like always gone to mine. Yeah. And I liked going to his and meeting family that I don't know, and also, who doesn't love getting multiple food in one day?
Right.
Like, I love
Taking the naps on the couch after turkey.
Love that. Exactly. So I get it of like, his mom sometimes is like, well, another year he's not here, and we try, but it is hard.
Well, and then it's I don't know if you worry about this, but I feel like if it's like your husband or your spouse or your boyfriend's decision to not go to their family members, then like you're the one that's blamed for it.
Yeah.
Like their family's like, oh, well, he's not here because he's at so-and-so's family instead.
We always make sure to always at least spend Christmas. And I think his Christmas is at his grandpa's, where it's just like uncles and him, like a direct true family, instead of like the whole thing. Like his family's huge. Yeah. So it's a little bit more personal, and I think he enjoys that more, which at least it's like, again, you're choosing, like, probably not going to do Thanksgiving, but we'll be with you at Christmas, or they might do a little mini side of Thanksgiving that Saturday just to get together to eat all the leftovers, and we'll go do that. Yeah. So it's not like we're completely missing, but it is hard.
And I think just finding that communication with your family members, like, hey, I'm
nothing against you.
Right. It's just we have to decide, and we're being pulled in 3 different directions or 4 different directions. If my husband's family, his parents were divorced, it'd be 4. And then what if like a grandparent had a different one? There's some people that have multiple, and they really have to choose.
That's hard.
It is.
Yeah. And I always, with mine, I'm all, now, like, I feel like we hit a certain age and they're like, okay, wait, now you have to bring something, I used to always have to bring, like, the drinks, which is the easiest thing to do, or, like, the silverware, or the rolls, and now I, like, find cute little hors d'oeuvres off of, like, TikTok and YouTube and stuff, and try them out, and then they've become a hit. So now I'm like, oh crap, now I gotta make that thing. So like if we wanted to go to his family's first, you can't, because they're like, hey, you gotta get here, and like we need your food and we need to bring it. So that's another thing. Or like I might drop it off with my mom and say, hey, we'll be there later, or something like that. So if you all have family where you need to like choose, it's okay. Just make sure everyone knows it's not out of like bad,
like spite or anything. Yeah. And I think so I kind of have 2 things to share, because I always think it's funny. My husband brings up like, I wish we could just rent out this like huge building and just invite everybody, like your family, my family, the like, even if we have siblings and like their in-laws.
But like, then it like extends though more and more.
It does. But he was like, what's 100 people? Like, go have 100 people and just all do a pitch-in. But like, then you would just have one holiday. Yeah. And in his mind, it just makes sense, because it's like, why wouldn't you just do that? Like, it makes more sense than driving all over the place. And
my mom has always, like, her and her sisters have always wanted to rent out a cabin in Tennessee to do Christmas.
Oh, that's fun.
But then it's like, okay, well, then we'll really have to decide, because, like, we're away from, like, my fiance's family. But then if we could get them to go, but then, and then it extends the family tree of, well, now they're missing this. And,
either way, whatever you do, you feel like you're excluding somebody, which is hard.
And it's okay. It's going to happen. Don't feel too ashamed. Don't let them feel ashamed or make you feel ashamed for that. And then I was also going to get back to the topic of whose house to have it at. Even if it's not at your house, like help the person who wants to, unless they're okay and they're like, no, we're fine. But if not, it does not take but a couple hours to go to that person's house, help clean it up, help sweep, help get whatever ready, because that's going to make it faster for them and ease the stress. And then also maybe probably make Thanksgiving go a little bit smoother as well.
Or maybe even if the person allows you or gives you permission to come early.
Yeah.
And like just take care of some of the things that need to be done.
And clean up too.
Yeah.
Like we, in our family, it's please take food. Like I always take, unless my dad shows up, I always take him a plate. Even though him and my mom aren't together, he's always welcome at her family's Thanksgiving.
Nice.
Yeah. So I always take him a plate, but then I have now learned to bring Tupperware.
I was just going to say that. I was like, I feel like I always forget Tupperware.
Well, because I always make my whatever I'm bringing in like the aluminum pans and stuff so I can throw them away. But now I've learned to bring Tupperware because it's so much easier instead of trying to like put aluminum foil on a plate and then you have it already, put it in the fridge, you're good to go. Everything's divided, nothing's touchy.
Oh, you're one of those.
No, with leftovers, yes. If I'm eating on Thanksgiving right there, I don't care. With leftovers.
Ooh, I feel like we should do a poll.
Ooh.
Like, whose plate at Thanksgiving cannot have anything touching and, like, who doesn't care?
I kind of want to buy the plate. I've seen it. I don't even know if it's an actual plate or if it's supposed to be more of like an olive tray where it's like has the individual.
Oh, I love that.
And then that way you can put your little
little scoops on each thing.
or something of that sort. But also, yes, help clean up as well. It does not take that long. Unless you do have to be at another Thanksgiving. But if you don't, at least help get things together because that'll also ease the stress. I would also say getting into Black Friday shopping if you're one of those. My family, they plan, like my mom and my aunts and sister and all them, they get the new, well, if it's still the same, but we get the newspaper to know who's opening when, what deals they have. So after dessert, where everyone's kind of hanging out, playing games, just chatting, we have it all planned, and that helps ease the stress of, well, where are we going to go first? Because if you just go in blind, depending on where you live too and how big your city is and what stores you have, that helps ease the stress of getting ready for Black Friday as well.
And then I don't know about you, but now that most things are like on Amazon and stuff, they have the Cyber Mondays. Yep. So I'll look at deals like that are coming up and I save them in my cart because then I like take screenshots of what they currently are before Black Friday because they change and sometimes they're not better deals. Oh, no. So I like screenshot it before Black Friday and before Cyber Monday. Yeah. And then I leave it in my cart and save it for later. And then I make sure that I'm actually getting a good deal.
Yep. So I do that on the regular anyways. I just put it in saved and then I start to see it fluctuate because it'll notify you.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah,
like, I got you, Amazon people. You're trying to pull one over on me, aren't you?
But that's how we deal with it. Do you have anything else for it?
I do. I think I was also going to say too, I think there are some family dilemmas and things that where you just can't subject yourself to it. So I kind of want to say, like, not everybody has maybe a great family experience. And if it's in that moment where you can't subject yourself to those family members because it is so toxic or it is so unsettling, and the best option for you or your family is to not go, just be kind and cordial, but say, hey, we can't make it this year. Yeah. And maybe not even give a reason why, just say, hey, I can't make it. Because I think there are those family dynamics that are just really tough, and I think they need to be acknowledged. Yeah, because,
absolutely.
It's tough. It really is. And
holidays are hard on people, especially if you're missing, a loved one that's passed on and it's fresh.
Yes,
and you're
exactly.
grieving, or if it's not fresh and you're still, it's okay to, you don't have to attend. It's
or
okay.
like grandma always hosted this and grandma's not here anymore and like the glue of the family's not there. Yeah. I mean, that can be hard. And I think just personally, like something that my husband and I have just recognized is that we want to build traditions just with our family unit. So just me, him, and our son. Because it is like you feel like you're being pulled in so many directions. So actually for Christmas, we've decided that we're going to just do our family unit with something. So we might travel and we might go get a cabin in like Tennessee or do something that is just our family unit. Because I remember hearing a pastor one time talk about how when his kids get married, he's like, I understand that my daughter is going to marry this guy and now they are a family unit. I can't expect them to come to my family dinner or my family holiday.
Yeah.
Because they are now their own family unit.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's hard because most parents don't recognize that. They're like, you're still part of my family unit.
Yeah.
But now once they're branched off, they're married, that's a separate family unit now, and they have to make those decisions that are best for them. And I thought that was really insightful that guy recognized it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think most people do.
Well, that's going back, with my family, my cousin, my aunt and uncle, that they live almost 2 hours away. Obviously, it makes more sense for them to always come here instead of all of us traveling over there, which we did one time. And it just, every year, even like Christmas, like they would have to open their Christmas gifts and then they would have to get ready and come straight here. And they, as kids, like you didn't have time to play with all your cool new toys and, or they could bring what they could. And now, obviously younger, I was like, I don't know, because that's the only time I see them, it was exciting. But now that I'm older and, my cousin has kids, I'm like, just stay home, girl. Like, you do not have to come. Like, let them open up gifts. Let them enjoy it. Like, you do not have to come. And we could still get together on Christmas, those who live in town, and then maybe you guys could come, like, Saturday or something, or the next weekend, and then we can kind of hang out.
Yes, that, recognizing it doesn't have to be the actual day of.
Because I just feel bad now that I'm older and understand, like, those poor kids, they're, like, probably excited to play with their toys, and unfortunately they have to open them up and
then leave, get in the car.
And they're like, I want to play with my Barbie doll.
Yeah, right. So it could be, it doesn't have to be the actual day of. It can be, the weekend before, the weekend after.
Yeah.
And then, for some people, like myself, I have to work Wednesday and I have to work Friday. Mm-hmm. So I only get the actual holiday off. And then, first responders. So people
that don't get it off.
That don't get it off at all.
Yeah. Be kind and take them a plate.
Yes.
That happened one Thanksgiving. I had to work in the ER, and I was so upset. And then my family brought me a plate, and it made me happy. Even though we already were doing, like, a pitch-in at work, it just is nice that they were thinking of me to, like, come see me.
Yeah. Because then you couldn't travel to your cousin's house. Like, you're at work, you're trying to get off, go home, do all the things.
By the time I got off, everyone's gone, everyone, back home. So if you have someone in your life that is working on Thanksgiving and they can't be there, take them a plate.
Yeah.
And understand that pumpkin pie.
Yeah, not everybody gets a whole week off at Christmas.
And don't complain if places are closed. Yeah, don't complain if places are closed either, because everyone wants to spend time with their family. So don't be mad if a gas station's closed. You can still get gas. You just can't go in.
Yeah.
Or don't be mad if, like, the milk house is closed, which they aren't. I found out. Like, just don't get upset, because it's only going to be closed for a few hours. They're going to go open back up probably by midnight for Black Friday or whatever it may be, or they may close early. They have family too. So,
yeah.
But anyways, we hope you have a great Thanksgiving week and a great Thanksgiving day. I hope that your family gets along. You're able to pick a location where you need to go. You help each other out.
You find some great deals.
For Black Friday shopping. You get some good food. And you just enjoy time together. And at least that's what I'm looking forward to, because I'll be traveling a lot up until Thanksgiving. And I will be ready to, like,
breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I think, on behalf of both of us, we're just hoping that you guys have a very happy Thanksgiving. And
we'll see you after.
Yeah.